Good morning. My name is Andrea Jenkins. I'm the president of the Minneapolis City Council, and I will call to order this regular meeting for Thursday, September 7th. This morning we have one resolution to present, which we will do before taking up our regular order of business, commemorating Latino Heritage Month, honorary resolution presented by Councilmember Chavez.
All right, does this work? Okay, I think we're ready. I just want to begin by saying thank you to our incredible city staff who helped develop this resolution commemorating Latino Heritage Month. Monica, who took lead on this. We have Somos ERG, who is here with us today, who have worked really hard on this as well, along with the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs, the Minnesota Council of Latino Affairs, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and everybody who is commemorating this very special month. So I'll just begin by reading the first part of the resolution, and we'll have everybody up here take lead on reading other parts. So, commemorating Latino Heritage Month. The Hispanic Heritage Month is celebrated in the United States from September 15th to October 15th, and the city of Minneapolis celebrates its Latino Heritage Month. And whereas the term Hispanic, Latino, Latina, Latinx, Latine, and Latine are inclusive names for the diverse ethnic group recognized during the Latino Heritage Month, and
whereas, during Latino Heritage Month celebration, we recognize the anniversary of independence for several Latino countries in the American continent, including September 15th for Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, September 16th for Mexico, and September 18th for Chile.
And whereas many Latinos in the American continent are the descendants of indigenous people, and their diverse tribes, such as the Arawak in Colombia and Venezuela, Azteca y Maya in Mexico and Central America, the Inca in South America, Inti Taíno in Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and Jamaica, and many Latinos share additional cultural roots, including African and Afro-Latino and Asian Latino and.
Whereas, according to the United Nations, there are 826 different indigenous groups in Latin America and the Caribbean, whereas some Latinos have lost the ability to communicate in their ancestral native languages such as Quechua, Quiche, Nahua, Aymara, and others, as these languages were replaced by the Spanish language during colonization of present-day Central, South America, and Caribbean countries, and others have lost or never acquired the abilities to speak due to language suppression efforts here in the United States, where Latinos were told to speak English despite the fact that Spanish was the first non-native language spoken on the American continent.
And whereas 1/3 of the United States belonged to Mexico before 1848 with the end of the Mexican-American War. Before that, Latinos crossed the Rio Grande border freely. Latinos had their land taken away, but have won the struggle of cultural survival. And
whereas, according to the 2020 census data, there are 62.1 million Latinos in the United States, or 18.7%, 3,045,640 in Minnesota, or 6%, and 41,659 in Minneapolis, or 9.8%. And Latinos play a crucial and growing role in the United States economy. They have demonstrated resourcefulness, hard work, and creativity. While they exist in a white supremacist system, they have been historically excluded and oppressed. Lingering effects of marginalization on the Latino population survive in the form of widespread bias and discrimination, lower paying jobs, less education, and other barriers that limit opportunities for growth and success. And
whereas Latinos have risen to the top of a variety of fields of endeavor, and there has been an increase seen in Latinos in positions of leadership in the United States, the state of Minnesota, and the city of Minneapolis over the last few decades. The overall underrepresentation of Latinos in such positions substantiates the obstacles they must overcome, that those of dominant identities are not subject to, and whereas, according to the Latino Leadership Institute, Latinos' current purchase power is $1.7 trillion in the market, and their spending power is rising. 6% compounded annual growth in the last decade compared to 3% for the non-Latino white population. And
whereas 2023 Latino accomplishments worth highlighting include that Judge Jeffrey Bryan will be the first Latino federal judge in Minnesota. And this year's legislature passed numerous proposals led by Latino groups, and
whereas many Minneapolis Latino-led groups and the Minnesota Council on Latino Affairs actively supported the passage of bills such as the Minnesota Care Inclusion Act, driver's licenses for all, working family credit, homestead eligibility, and the Minnesota Child Tax Credit for individual taxpayers, identification number or ITNs, filers. Personal finance for high school students, Minnesota Secure Choice Retirement Program, increased funding for English learners programming, community solutions, establishment and appropriations for healthy child development grants, Alzheimer's Public Information Program, establishment and appropriations, and first-generation homebuyers down payment assistance fund, and the creation of the Office of New Americans and the Department of Employment and Economic Development, otherwise known as DEED.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and city council do hereby commemorate Latino Heritage Month to protect and uplift the voices, visions, and contributions brought forward by Latinos throughout Minneapolis, the United States, and the world. Thank you. So now I want to give some opportunity for some folks here, either from Somos, MCLA, and Blue Cross Blue Shield, and our city staff to just say a few words. Yeah, we love Inspector Gomez.
So I'll just start by saying thank you very much, Somos, for preparing this incredible resolution. I also want to note that our executive sponsor, who is here, Enrique Velasquez, has also been nominated for the position of Director of Regulatory Affairs. So really, really excited for that accomplishment. Congratulations, Enrique.
Buenos días, muchas gracias. Thank you so much to the City of Minneapolis, to the mayor and the council members for this recognition. It is an honor for us as a council representing, as we heard, more than 300, almost 350,000 Latinos in the state of Minnesota, working across all of the state and working with communities and working in partnership with so many in the community who have done the hard work. Our role has been to elevate those voices, those needs, and those are the victories and the wins of our communities across the state. And we are very honored and humbled to have played a part this session, and we will continue to do so. So thank you so much for this recognition, and congratulations to all of our Latino communities across the state. Thank you.
Sure. Again, just also thank you so much for this recognition. I am part of Constelación Latina, ARG, or ERG, and Blue Cross Blue Shield. And we also are really, honoring to be celebrating this Hispanic Heritage Month and doing a lot of work inside Blue Cross to continue to support the Latinos in the organization. And I think it's very important that it's recognized. And just thank you so much for this. It's really for the opportunity to be here too. Thank you.
I guess I'm supposed to say something. My name is Sylvia Gonzalez, and I am co-chair for SOMOS, and I've been involved with it since the inception, 2018. It's been a lot of work, and I ask that all of you, and I really appreciate all the support you've given us, but to continue to support us. It's an unpaid job, a lot of work, and really difficult for those of us in leadership that are trying to get people involved. Not everybody is on board to allow their people to attend our events. And so I encourage all of you as council members and community members to make sure that your employees and your community members can attend these events so we can keep our ERGs going. Thank you.
So Sylvia was recently recognized for her hard work here in the city of Minneapolis, so I did just want to mention that we're really proud of the work you're doing here for our city and proud of the dedication you have to our residents of Minneapolis. So just wanted to give you a shout out for that as well.
Councilmember Chavez, thank you for sponsoring this moment. My name is Monica Romero, member of SOMOS. All council members, thank you so much for giving us this space. To the ones that could be SOMOS members or are SOMOS members here in presence or remotely, please join this group. Please make it bigger. Please bring your voice in. So bring your culture in within the Latino. We are very diverse, and we are very rich in what we can share with others. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Would any of my colleagues like to comment at all? If not, I will just say thank you to Councilmember Chavez for bringing forth this resolution, and thank you to the Latino, Latina, Latinx communities for all the contributions that you make to this country, to this city, and to the city of Minneapolis. Thank you so very much. Happy Latino Heritage Month. And thank you again, Councilmember Chavez. I will now ask the clerk to call the roll to verify the presence of a quorum.
Councilmember Ellison is absent. Councilmember Vitaw.
Present.
Councilmember Rainville.
Present.
Councilmember Goodman is absent. Councilmember Wansley is absent. Councilmember Johnson.
Present.
Councilmember Osmond.
Present.
Councilmember Payne is absent. Councilmember Koski.
Present.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Present.
Councilmember Chavez.
Present.
Vice President Palmisano.
Present.
President Jenkins.
Present.
There are 9 members present.
Let the record reflect that we do have a quorum. Next, we have the adoption of our agenda. Colleagues, the agenda for today's meeting is before us. I'll ask, are there any amendments to the agenda? Are there any amendments to the agenda? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Vitaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
It carries, and the agenda has been adopted. Next item of business is the acceptance of the minutes from 3 meetings: the adjourned meeting of August 15th, the regular meeting of August 17th, and the adjourned meeting of August 21st. May I have a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Vitaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Sugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries, and those minutes have been accepted. Finally, we have the referral of petitions, communications, and reports to the proper committees. May I have that motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Sugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries, and those matters have been referred. The next order of business is the reports from our standing committees, beginning with the report from our Budget Committee, and that report will be presented by the committee's chair, Councilmember Koski.
Thank you, Madam President. The Budget Committee is bringing forward one item today. This is the American Rescue Plan Act funded Community Relations Specialist position transfer. I move approval of the Budget Committee's report.
Councilmember Koski has moved that committee's report. Are there any questions or comments from my colleagues? Are there any questions? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Sugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries, and that report is adopted. The next order of business is the report from the Business Inspection, Housing, and Zoning Committee, and that report will be presented by the committee's vice chair, Councilmember Osmond.
Thank you, Madam President. The Biz Committee is bringing forward 17 items for approval. Item 1, authorizing a term sheet and purchase agreement for 18628th Street and 2717 Longfellow Avenue, an access agreement with MPCA. Item 2 is authorizing a host approval for tax-exempt bond for Stonebridge World School. Item 3 is denying a variance appeal for 2110 4th Street Northeast. And item 4 is a variance appeal for 2432 Chicago Avenue. The committee sent this item forward to council without recommendation in hopes that the affected parties could come an agreement to move forward. I understand that the parties have reached agreement, so I'll be moving to deny this appeal. Item 6 is approving 2 gambling license approvals. Item 7 is approving business license operating condition for student co-op at 1721 University Avenue Southeast. Item 8 is accepting a general application bond fund for a grant for Cowless Center. Item 9 is authorizing a grant agreement with MPHA rehabilitation and redevelopment of various properties. Item 10 is authorizing exclusive development rights to the 927 Building LLC. Item 11 is approving Hennepin County Redevelopment Authority to provide financial assistance for affordable housing project. Item 12 is approving fiscal year for 2023 emergency solution grant, funding recommendations, and joint powers agreement. Item 13 is authorizing an amendment to the CARES Act CBD PG joint powers agreement with Hennepin County. Item 14 is accepting brownfield grants for Metropolitan Council and Hennepin County. Item 15 is approving program guidelines for the Cultural Market Small Business Support Program. Item 16 is approving the local historical landmark designation for Wayne and Gertrude Kelly House. Item 17 is the rezoning for various Van Bureau Street Northeast properties, considering the current legal status of 2040. The city attorney have advised us to delay this item one cycle, so I'll be moving to postpone on this item to the next regular meeting scheduled for September 22nd. With that, I move approval for Biz report, including the motion to deny the item the appeal in the item 4 and also postpone item 17 for our next meeting. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilmember Osman. Councilmember Osman has moved the committee's report. And I see in queue for questions or comments, Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a quick comment on item number 1. I'm really excited to see this item and want to say thank you to the community. Thank you to Dean DeValis, who's here today, Joe Vital, who can't be with us today. I want to thank my colleague, Councilmember Chavez, for all his leadership on this item over the years. Councilmember Koski, who's been there negotiating, working to get a solution for the community to really realize their dreams. The mayor's office for being willing, and Public Works being willing to revisit this item. Our legislature for stepping up. Our incredible state representative who is here today, Samantha Sensor-Mura. Thank you for all of your leadership on this. This would not be here today before us if not for your leadership as well. Our staff for their work on this. I mean, this is a team effort, and it is so long in the making and such an exciting moment. We also know it's not over yet, and so I just want to reiterate my support, and I know that's shared by colleagues as well, of continuing to work to make sure that this vision is successfully realized. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. Are there any additional comments or questions? The clerk has.
The clerk hit a button and can't seem to undo it.
Well, seeing no other comments, I will just comment. I mean, this has been a very long process and years, in fact, and I've had a large role, I think, in bringing these issues forward, as has all the parties named by Council Member Johnson. This is a win for the community. I hope we can bring this project to its full fruition, because anything less would be a disservice to the community. And so thank you, everyone, for your efforts, and seeing no further discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Vital.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osman.
Aye.
Councilmember Payne is absent. Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That report is adopted, and the next committee report is the Committee of the Whole, and that report will be presented by its chair, Council Vice President Palmisano.
Thank you, Madam President. We have one thing coming forward for consideration today from Committee of the Whole. It's the purchase agreement amendment to include the 3rd Precinct Police Operations Space in the one originally planned for the 1st Precinct, so in the facility located at 1101 3rd Avenue South. I'll move that forward. Thanks.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Council Vice President Palmisano has moved that committee's report. Is there any discussion? I see in queue, Councilmember Koski.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to see if there's any staff here. We received this information less than 48 hours ago, and so I'm still digesting some of the information that we heard, and was wondering if there was somebody here. I see that our interim COO is here. I was wondering if you could answer a couple questions regarding this.
Good morning, Director Johnston.
Good morning, Madam President, Councilmember Koski. I'm pinch hitting for Barbara O'Brien, who is in labor negotiations right now. So
Question that I had, I was wondering if you could just clarify the $30 million projected cost, if that is for the 3rd Precinct build out only, or for both the 1st and the 3rd Precinct total at the Century Plaza building?
Madam President, Councilmember Koski, that is for the 3rd precinct only, and as you all will recall, both precincts need 2 floors, but the agreement with the property owner is that we would purchase also the extra 3rd floor for 3rd precinct because they can't use 1 floor of a 5-floor building. So that is for 3rd precinct only.
Okay. I'm not sure if you can answer this or not, if it's more of a Barbara question, but could you maybe help us understand how we got to that amount? Because if I remember correctly, the renovation of the former 3rd precinct was an estimate of 10 million, and then the projection to build an entire new building was about 20 to 30 million. So I'm just curious to understand how we get to $30 million in building out 2 to 3 floors in a building.
Madam President, Councilmember Koski, it really has to do with that extra floor that we're not using for the 3rd precinct initially. We can use that for other items. We're not planning on building that out right away. Essentially how this deal was reached is that we had been in negotiations and had reached an agreement on the 1st precinct, so the first 2 floors, and we negotiated with the property owner that we would then get the same price for the additional floors, and so that's why it seems it's more expensive, because we're in fact getting more space than we need for the precinct. But let me be clear, we have other space needs that we could use that 3rd floor, that additional floor for.
Okay, and then, you know, as it is my understanding, and I think the other colleagues here, that this is being built as a temporary space for the 3rd precinct officers, which I am in full support of making sure that they have better accommodations than what they currently have, brings them closer to the 3rd precinct. But I'm just curious to know, since this is a temporary space, and as we continue to explore co-locations and safety subcenters, what happens, you know, several years down the line with this build out? You know, are we able to pivot quickly and utilize the investment that we have, and what is the plan for those potential floors to pivot and utilize those if needed? Or basically, will it be easy for us to pivot and utilizing this investment?
Council President, Councilmember Koski, let me just say that it's temporary. It's not intended to be a permanent location, but it's long-term temporary. So we're intending that it will probably be 10 years. We have additional investigation that we're doing in terms of what the future of public safety facilities looks like. That will take a long period of time. So we want to have our employees in good, solid space until that point in time. Is it going to be easy to pivot? Yes, actually, because we will be condoizing the space, and so we could very easily, we will essentially own the interior, right, like you do with a condo. And so what happens is we could just repurpose that space for another use, whether it could be some of the alternatives that we've talked about. It could be, you know, animal control. It could be other departments. It could be that we have ultimate flexibility with respect to that space. Obviously, the build out, it just depends on what the use will be.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate Councilmember Koski raising these questions, and I appreciate you being here, Interim COO Johnston. I'm digesting this as well. I would offer a quick comment that I don't think 10 years is probably the expectation for constituents. I think they would like the 3rd precinct returned sooner to the actual 3rd precinct, though I agree with Councilmember Koski that we need to do something here for our officers. My question would be, well, I've got a couple of questions here. So how much are we paying per floor? What are we paying for just the real estate, period, versus the actual build out on the interior?
Council President Jenkins, Councilmember Johnson, we're paying roughly $10 million per floor, but that includes the build out. I don't know that it's separated out because the arrangement is a condo, so we're not technically buying the building. So I can see if we can get a breakdown on that, but sort of the broad answer is about $10 million per floor.
Gotcha. And then you talked about being able to pivot to other spaces. Do we have that need for that kind of space? I mean, we just have built this public service building that's really large. And obviously people are now, and even when we started moving in that trajectory with a consolidated campus, by the way, right? We also saw a shift to more hybrid working, work from home. Where are we at in terms of a needs assessment on space?
Council President Jenkins, Councilmember Johnson, we are constantly reassessing our space needs, and this will be part of what we do as we do an evaluation of that. We have, fortunately or unfortunately, we do have a lot of real estate here in the city, and some of that is very old. I mentioned animal control. Those facilities, I mean, as you've heard from other committees, that there's a lot of need for additional. We're taking in a lot more animals than we have in the past, so we may need additional space in that regard. The workforce itself does fluctuate from time to time. We still have, right now we are understaffed in the police department, for example, so we may need additional space there. It just depends on how our workforce evolves. You're absolutely right. We do have really a minimum of 2 days a week in the office requirement, so we do still have needs for in the office. I don't say not at work, work in the office, because they are working from home. But I would also clarify that, you know, a full 65% of our workforce is full-time. Full-time in the office. And so we're never going to get out of the need for space, but we have a whole bunch of different needs, and we do those assessments on a regular basis.
Do we have spare space right now in our public service building that's new? And if so, how much?
Council President Jenkins, Councilmember Johnson, we do have at least one floor, and I'm not sure. I think it's just one floor, but it may be two. I can confirm that and get back to you. So. Or I might get some information shortly. So. Gotcha.
And since we don't own the building itself, if we move into the future and we say, okay, now we've moved the third precinct back to the actual third precinct, and we actually realize we don't need this space, are we able to recoup costs? Are we able to resell the space?
Council President Jenkins, Councilmember Johnson, good question. Yes, we can sell the condo space at any point in time that we don't need it.
Gotcha, thank you. And then I think that's the end of my questions. It's just, it's a lot to process, frankly, that timeline. I mean, that's longer than I've been around on this council. So, and that's a long time. So I guess I'm kind of looking to my colleagues to see if anyone else is having any reactions to this and how they're processing it as well, because the vote is right before us now. So, and I think it's a lot to take in. Yes.
Okay. Council President Jenkins, Councilmember Johnson, I did get confirmation that we do just have one floor remaining in the Public Service building, excuse me, and that's the 7th floor, and that hasn't been built out yet. So that is our one remaining floor that's available. We'll just sort of level set in terms of, we don't expect the third precinct officers to be able to be in that new space until 2025. And so just to kind of level set, I mean, we'll have the first precinct officers in there next year, but we still need additional time to get the third precinct officers in there. And so, you know, it does seem like a long time, but as you all know, some of these things do take time, and we want to do this right. And what we heard very clearly from this council is that we want to take some time and reevaluate how we provide public safety services in this city. And so this will allow us the time to make sure that we have those conversations and that we do that in a way that makes sense for the future of the city.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. Next in queue is Councilmember Vito.
Thank you, Madam President. This just feels like a really big decision to make and really sudden. I was not expecting the answers that were given today around the $30 million and still a future in an investment in the third precinct. I know that it doesn't My ward is not a part of the 3rd precinct, but I want to be fiscally responsible, and this doesn't feel that way for me. This really feels like we're going to be asking the people of Minneapolis to pay now and to pay later for a future project down the road. So I won't be supporting this today. I have the 4th precinct who could definitely use some upgrades and some money for some projects there. And I think it just would be a bad look to invest all of this into this precinct and knowing that we're going to have to make some future investments. I appreciate the answers, but as I said before, it's kind of shocking. And I can't, I haven't even processed what has been said here about the 3rd precinct. And 2 of the 3rd precinct council members have spoken. It seems like they may have some of the same feelings that I have around the money and the use, and if we're actually getting a bang for our buck out of a space that we don't even own. And do we have any idea what the resale value could be after making $30 million in investments?
Council President Jenkins, Councilmember Vita, a couple comments that we don't know what the resale value will be in 10 years. We certainly know there will be value. That's a great location in terms of for office space or other uses. And so, we do own the interior space as a condo arrangement, and so I can't speculate right now on what the value of that is. I do also want to mention you're absolutely correct. This is why we feel like we need to have this sort of long-term, mid-term solution. And that's why we talk about 10 years to get the value out of that space. And so to your point about being fiscally responsible, that's why we're looking at it as a midterm solution, so that it is financially responsible and being financially prudent. And that's kind of an equivalent of what we would do with renting, is what our kind of the equation we're doing. The other piece is I just want to make sure that you know that we do have in the capital improvement program some resources to make some of those improvements at the 4th precinct as well. So
it's probably a comment. People are working from home now. So how are we determining that this is optimal space? Like somebody would want this space, and isn't it empty now? Nobody's been in it for quite some time, or is it being fully used?
Council President Jenkins, Councilmember Vita, I'm not sure. When you say it, are you referring to what?
The building, the actual.
Which building? I'm sorry.
The Central Plaza.
Council President Jenkins, Councilmember Vita, it's not being used right now, other than the fact that we do have a contract. We are under contract for the 1st precinct, so we are going to be using 1st and 2nd floor very soon. So
right, but so nobody was like running to get in there before us. Okay.
I don't know what who else was involved in the bidding process, but it was empty. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Koski.
Well, thank you, Madam President. Just kind of listening to this conversation and hearing about the, I'd say like additional questions I think that people still have on the table. I would like to make a motion to delay this vote so that we have time. I think you described that we are doing this so that we have time to think about this. And I think hearing some of these staggering dollars and trying to be fiscally responsible for our community members, wanting to make sure we have a little bit more time. I don't know if what would be appropriate if you feel that the questions that we have, if 1 cycle or 2 cycles would be best, but I'm open to either of those, just so that we can get enough time. I know there are some council members that are not in town right now too, so I want to make sure that they have adequate amount of time to have that space too. So I'm asking you if you think 1 cycle or 2 cycles is what would be helpful.
Council President Jenkins, Councilmember Koski, the sooner we can get a decision is the sooner we can get started with the build out. The contractor won't begin that until there's a decision made, so I think the staff would prefer 1 cycle, but if there are additional questions, we'd love to hear what those are. I do think we can get some additional information on the development to Councilmember Vita's questions that's occurring in the area, because there is development occurring around there, so I'm happy to happy to get more information on that if that's what the body chooses. But any delay is going to be a delay in terms of the being able to get our officers in there as well. So.
Okay. I would make a motion then to delay this one cycle to give us an opportunity to just explore this a little bit more and ask deeper questions before we bring this back forward.
Second.
So Councilmember Koski has moved to postpone this item for one cycle. It's been seconded by Councilmember Johnson, and we have comments or questions in queue. First is Council Vice President Palmisano.
Thank you, Madam President. Was just conferring with my colleague, Councilmember Chugtai. I don't think that postponing one cycle and trying to do briefings with every council member for a $30 million decision that seems a bit rushed here makes sense. I'd like to make a substitute motion to refer this back to committee, so back to committee of the whole for a deep dive discussion on the proposal and options. I think that thank you. I think that we do need to kind of finish this off in public. There's maybe some confusion, and maybe we rushed that discussion a little bit at committee this week, and for that I apologize, but I think that we should probably have these options laid out so that everybody here on this dais is clear. It's usually hard to get all of those other briefings scheduled and done in one cycle, so that is my substitute to this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Palmisano has moved a substitute motion.
Madam
And
President.
it has been seconded, and I will confer with the clerk on procedural.
Madam President, I saw a lot of head nods on that, and it feels like the better option, easier, is for Koski to remove for postponement and just put the one amendment in front of the body, which is the directive to refer this back to committee.
Councilmember Koski, are you amenable to that suggestion?
Yep.
Councilmember Koski has agreed to withdraw her motion, and we have the substitute motion by Council Vice President Palmisano to refer this item back to committee. There has been a proper second, and I'll recognize Councilmember Chugtai.
Thank you, Madam President. Really appreciate Councilmember Koski for listening to the feedback from council members and making a motion to not take action on this today, and to the Council Vice President. I guess what I would say to the Council Vice President, who chairs the Committee of the Whole, along with Councilmember Chavez, who's the Vice Chair there, I want to make sure that this motion to refer the item back to committee doesn't result in us taking it up immediately at the next meeting. The two of you set the agenda along with staff, and so just making sure that we have adequate time then to still do that same work of doing council member briefings along with a more thorough discussion in committee on this issue in public seems appropriate to me. So just wanted to make that request or put that on your radar, because then just referring it to committee, and if it shows up at the next committee's agenda, it's essentially the same as us delaying one cycle.
Madam President, when we refer back, it will show up under the rules on the next committee agenda for public transparency and notice purposes, but doesn't mean that action is required. I want to be clear, it will show up on the agenda.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to express my gratitude to my colleagues on this as well. I think, this is a fast-moving item, and it's something that's a priority for the council, and so staff are being responsive as well and putting together plans around this. And I also think we're all trying to digest this as well, especially those of us that represent wards within the 3rd Precinct and really want service back in the 3rd Precinct and restored, and we recognize the need for a temporary location for our officers, and are also just trying to juggle and balance all of these competing priorities here and be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. So even though it's slightly unusual for an item to crop up at council with discussion and asking questions of staff like this, I think it warms my heart that my colleagues are are open to this and really being good stewards with these decisions. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. I did put myself in queue under the original item, but I think I will speak to the motion to refer to committee, which I support that motion and will be voting to support that. However, I do want to state as a council member that also has much of my ward in the 3rd precinct, that we do need to have a convenient location for our employees, as well as to be responsive to the public safety needs of our community. If and when we do relocate the 3rd precinct, we will still, as we continue to reimagine public safety, the 1st precinct will be there, and that could be a space to have this, potentially have this broad community safety center that we have been discussing, that has been recommended in some of the reports that we have had on this item. And so I don't see this as some sort of wasteful investment. This could potentially bring us into this future of public safety that we've all been hoping to transform into. And with that said, I don't see any other voices in queue on the Palmisano motion to refer back to committee, so I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Vitaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries, and so that item will be returned to the Committee of the Whole for further discussion, and there will be council member briefings by staff in the interim as well, which brings us to, that was the only item on the Committee of the Whole report, right? And so the next committee report is the Policy Government Oversight Committee, and that report will be presented by
Me.
Councilmember Chavez, yes.
Thank you, Madam President. The Policy and Government Oversight Committee is bringing forward 14 items for approval and 1 for deletion for the agenda. Item number 1 is a gift acceptance of conference registration fee, lodging, and travel expenses for the Everlaw Summit. Item number 2 is a gift acceptance of travel expenses from the National American Planning Association. Item number 3 is accepting a scholarship agreement for Heritage Preservation Commissioners and staff to attend Preserve Minnesota 2023. Item number 4 is authorizing collective bargaining agreement with Local 82 firefighters. Item number 5 is accepting a bid for snow plowing and removal at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Item number 6 is accepting a bid for debris removal at 2312 Lindell Avenue South. Item number 7, which I'm moving to delete from the agenda, is accepting a bid for Pump Station 9 medium voltage motor controller. Item number 8 is accepting a bid for bifold doors for multiple facilities. Item number 9 is accepting a bid for large diameter cured in place pipelining. Item number 10 is authorizing a contract with Image Trend LLC for a reporting and time management software solution for the fire department. Item number 11 is a contract with Microsoft Corporation for Microsoft Unified Support Services. Item number 12 is authorizing contracts for 2023 housing opportunities for persons with HIV/AIDS grant funding. Item number 13 is authorizing a contract amendment with Arch Midwest, Inc. for fiscal management services. Item number 14 is authorizing master contract amendments with Midwest Art Conservation Center for Public Art Maintenance. And item number 15 is approving a legal settlement with Keith versus James. And with that, I'll move approval of all items except for item number 7, which I'm moving to delete. And if you remember, Councilmember and Chair Ellison mentioned in Poger earlier this week that staff reached out to request that this item be deleted, so he moved to delete it. I'll stand by for any questions.
And Councilmember Chavez has moved the Polo Committee report. Are there any questions or comments? And I will note that it's requested to remove item number 7. The chair will recognize Councilmember Chugtai.
Thank you, Madam President. I wanted to just make a comment on item number 6, which is the bid for debris removal at 2312 Lindale Avenue South. This is a site that there was a massive fire at in December of last year, and it followed an investigation by the ATF of this site, and there's been essentially a giant pile of rubble here that has been there now for 9 months, while the property owner and the city and the property owner's insurance company have tried to figure out how to get this debris removed. Really, really grateful to our staff at Regulatory Services and Finance and Property Services and CPED on working on this site, and I'm really excited that the city has decided to step in here and make sure that this debris gets removed. We are actually ahead of schedule for when this bid is supposed to come before the council for approval. So hopefully this will mean that the work on this will start sooner and will be completed before the cold months set in. So just wanted to make a comment about that.
Thank you, Councilmember Chugtai. Are there any other questions or comments on the Polo Committee report? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll on the Polo Committee report, recognizing that we are deleting item number 7.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries, and that committee's report has been adopted. The next committee report we have is the report from the Public Health and Safety Committee, chaired by Councilmember Vita.
Thank you, Madam President. The Public Health and Safety Committee is bringing forward 4 items. Item 1 is accepting a grant from the DWI Court of Minnesota for a police liaison for defendant monitoring services. Item 2 is authorizing contracts with neighborhood organizations for the neighborhood's 2020 Shared Resources and Collaborations Fund. Item 3 is amending previous council actions related to contracts with organizations for the Partnership Engagement Fund. And item 4 is accepting a grant from the UCare Foundation to pilot on-site substance use disorder groups for residents in 6 Minneapolis high-rise. I'll move for approval of these items.
Thank you, Councilmember Vital, and Councilmember Vital has moved the Public Health and Safety Committee report. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries, and that committee report has been adopted. And finally, we have the report from the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee. That report will be presented by the chair, Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Madam President. The Public Works and Infrastructure Committee is bringing forward 10 items today. The first is a contract with the Joint Water Commission for the sale of water. The second is the 2025 resurfacing of ADA pedestrian ramps, ADA pedestrian ramp program, and 2024 Parkway paving program easements. Item number 3 is the non-governmental tax-exempt parcel street maintenance 2024 assessments. Item number 4 is the non-governmental tax-exempt parcel streetlight operation fee assessments for 2024. Item number 5 is the litter container placement and servicing policy update. Item number 6 is the Metropolitan Solid Waste Management Policy Plan. The City of Minneapolis comments for years 2022 through 2042. Item number 7 is the Metropolitan Council Transit Advantage and Signal Priority Working Group appointment. Item number 8 is the grant application to the Mississippi Watershed Management Organization to fund green infrastructure. Item number 9 is the U.S. Department of Transportation SMART grant for a curb management pilot project. And item number 10 is approving the large block event permit for El Grito on September 15th of this year. And I will go ahead and move the committee's full report on all those items.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson, and Councilmember Johnson has moved that committee's report. Are there any questions or comments? Are there any questions or comments from my colleagues? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Veto.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries, and the clerk, and that committee's report is adopted. I do have Councilmember Chugtai in queue, and will recognize her now.
Thank you, Madam President. I apologize. I wanted to just go back, if it's amenable to the body, and correct my vote on the Business Inspections, Housing, and Zoning Committee's report for item number 2, and ask that I be marked as a no on that item.
Is there any objections from my colleagues on Councilmember Chugtai's changing of the vote? Seeing none, we will accept that. Councilmember Chavez.
Council President Jenkins, I was on the same boat.
I'm sorry, I can't understand you, sir.
I also wanted to be marked as a no on item number 2.
Is there any objection to Councilmember Chavez changing his vote on item number 2? Seeing none, we will accept that change. So that completes the reports from our standing committees. Next, we have the notice of ordinance introduction. There are 3 notices. The first by Councilmember Johnson to amend Title 13, the licensing code related to taxi cab regulations. The second by Councilmember Vital to also amend the licensing code related to the regulation of tobacco products. And the third by Council Members Chugtai and Payne to amend Title II, the administration portion of the code related to the structure and functions of the Office of the City Auditor. These notices are hereby given and no further action is required at this time. The next order of business is resolutions.
Madam President. Oh, I'm in queue.
Oh, my apologies. Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to speak really quickly on item number 1, this taxi cab ordinance. And the reason why is because we have an item under unfinished business around transportation rideshare worker protections. So I wanted to make sure no one conflated those two as somehow related when it comes to worker pay or what have you. This effort has actually been something I've been working on with regulatory services since before this transportation rideshare worker protection ordinance was started. And it's in response to feedback from taxi cab companies, which are mostly immigrant owned. When these TNCs came onto the scene, they really put a lot of these companies out of business, and our existing code around taxi cabs has a number of regulations and barriers that make it hard for taxi cabs to compete, specifically things like dress code, higher license fees. There's a minimum number of cabs that a company can have, which makes it really hard for small businesses. And so the goal around this is not focusing on the worker protection side, but really focusing on how do we help these small immigrant-owned businesses and make it easier for them to do business in the city and to serve their customers and to ultimately be successful and not driven out by these TNCs. And so that's the effort here. I'm happy to talk with any colleagues about this. I'm sure staff are happy to do that as well. We met broadly with the industry too and had a lot of conversations leading up to this. So I'm excited to bring this item forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. The next order of business is resolutions. We have one honorary resolution that was read at the beginning of the meeting. Are there any further comments from my colleagues? Any further comments on the honorary resolution? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adopt that resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Veto.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osman.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries, and that resolution is adopted. Next, colleagues, we have unfinished business that pertains to the Transportation Rideshare Worker Protections Ordinance, which was vetoed and returned by the mayor with his objections. I will ask the clerk to advise us on the procedures on that veto.
Madam Chair, as you noted, the mayor returned this ordinance with his veto and his objections in writing as required under Section 4.4C3 of the City Charter. And accordingly, that matter is now presented for automatic reconsideration by the body. It's not open to debate or amendment, but the question is immediately pending as follows. Shall the decision of the City Council stand notwithstanding the veto of the mayor? To override the veto requires at least the affirmative votes of 2/3 of the council of the body. That's 9 affirmative votes are needed. Otherwise, the mayor's veto is sustained. So a yes on this vote is a vote to override the mayor's veto. A no vote is a vote to sustain the veto. And unless the body has need of further clarification, I'm ready to call the roll.
Are there any other questions or clarifications required from the clerk? Council Member Chugtai.
Thank you, Madam President. I believe we don't have 9 members present here today. So just to clarify, the number is still 9 votes.
Through the president, yes, the charter says it's 2/3 of the body, of the membership of the body. So it doesn't matter that there are absences from the body, it still requires 9 to override.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Vita.
No.
Councilmember Rainville.
No.
Councilmember Johnson.
No.
Councilmember Osman.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
No.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
No.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 4 ayes and 5 nays.
That
Fail.
fails, and the veto stands.
Correct.
And so we have new business, and we received the mayor's nomination of Enrique Velasquez to the appointed position of Director of Regulatory Services, and I will move to refer that nomination to the Business Inspections, Housing, and Zoning Committee for the setting of a public hearing as required by council rules. May I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Are there any questions from my colleagues? Council Member Johnson.
Thank you, Madam President. I actually wanted to just speak on the unfinished business item on this Transportation Rideshare Worker Protection Ordinance. I know the mayor's office did send out a letter around their intentions and next steps and willingness to work with the council on passing an ordinance on this. And I know that even next week, Councilmember Osman and myself and the mayor's office will be working together to come up with a compromise or try to come up with a compromise in order to advance this work and be able to get something passed yet this year for our rideshare workers. And so I wanted to make sure that for those watching that they knew that this matter isn't settled, that there is going to be continuing work on this. It seems like everyone, or broadly, or pretty much everyone, recognizes that there's a problem here and there's work that needs to be done and that the council needs to take action. And so, I'm committed to working with colleagues on that, and I know that this body is interested in doing that work and appreciate folks working in partnership together on this one.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. And so I did have a motion to move the appointment of the Director of Regulatory Services, Enrique Velasquez. And so, may I have a second to that motion?
Seconded.
Are there any questions, comments from my colleagues? Seeing as we have a proper motion before us and a second, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Veto. Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osman.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries, and that nomination is referred to the Biz Committee for the setting of a public hearing in the next cycle. Colleagues, we do have a request for a closed session today, but before we move to closed session, I'd like to take up any announcements first. Do any of my colleagues have any announcements that they would like to share this morning? Are there any comments? Councilmember Rainville?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to announce that the Holy Cross Church Festival will be this weekend in Northeast Minneapolis. Lots of good food, music, and dancing.
Wonderful. Thank you. Councilmember Chavez, did you have your hand?
I don't.
Okay. And I will then recognize that September is National Addiction Recovery Awareness Month, and just recognizing all the hard efforts that people are taking to overcome addiction from drugs, from alcohol, et cetera. And this is the month to recognize that. So that is the end of our announcements. As I mentioned, we do have a closed session, so we've completed all the regular items on our agenda. And we will now consider the request for a closed session, which is for one litigation matter as listed on the agenda. Before I move to close the meeting, I'll recognize the city attorney to provide the legal basis for the requested session. Madam City Attorney.
Thank you, Council President Jenkins. The next items on the agenda are actually 2 cases. One, the litigation matter of Muna Ahmed versus City of Minneapolis, former Minneapolis Police Sergeant Andrew Patel, Minneapolis Police Sergeant Kevin Angerhofer, and Minneapolis Police Sergeant Ryan McCann. And then the second is litigation matter of Amy Julia Bly versus defendants Nicholas Anderson and Andrew Rudin. These cases are in active litigation. Your lawyers wish to discuss with the council litigation strategy and or settlement possibilities. Accordingly, under the Minnesota Open Meeting Law, Minnesota Statute, Section 13D05, Subdivision 3B, the council may, upon a proper motion, close the meeting for the purposes of attorney-client communication. In considering the motion, the council should weigh the right of the public to know what its government is doing against the need of the city to preserve the confidentiality of its discussions with its attorneys.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. And with that, I will move our public meeting be closed as authorized under the provisions of the Open Meeting Law, specifically Minnesota Statute Section 13D.05 Subdivision 3B, for the purpose of discussing the litigation matters of Muna Ahmed versus the City of Minneapolis, former Minneapolis Police Sergeant Andrew Patel, Minneapolis Police Sergeant Kevin Angerhofer, and Minneapolis Police Sergeant Ryan McCann, and Amy Julia Bly versus defendants Nicholas Anderson and Andrew Rudin. May I have a second to that motion?
Seconded.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember
Aye.
Husky.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries, and we will now close the public portion of our meeting and convene in closed session. For the viewing public, I will note the broadcast of this meeting will continue, and the council will reconvene in public after we've concluded this closed session. Thank you. And colleagues, I will offer or request for a 5-minute break before we convene in room 319. Thank you. The time is now 11:28, and the City Council has reconvened in open session following the closed session. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll to verify the presence of a quorum.
Councilmember Vito.
Present.
Councilmember Rainville is absent. Councilmember Johnson.
Present.
Councilmember Osman.
Present.
Councilmember Payne.
Present.
Councilmember Koski.
Present.
Councilmember Showtime.
Present.
Councilmember Chavez.
Present.
Vice President Palmisano.
Present?
President Jenkins.
Present.
There are 9 members present.
That motion passes, and we have 2 motions related to the items discussed in the closed session, and I will call on council members Osmond and Chugtide to bring those motions forward respectively.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that all claims against the city of Minneapolis and any of its named or unnamed employees, including the claims for attorney fees and costs asserted in the matter of Mona Ahmed versus City of Minneapolis, former Minneapolis Police Sergeant Andrew Vittel, Minneapolis Police Sergeant Kevin Engerhover, and Minneapolis Police Sergeant Ryan McCann be settled in the amount of $245,000. The city attorney office is authorized to exclude all documents necessary to evacuate this settlement. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Councilmember Osmond. Councilmember Osmond has moved this item. Is there a second?
Second?
Seeing no discussion, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Payne.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Showtime.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That motion carries. And before I proceed to recognize Councilmember Chugtai, I do want to just note that we have been joined by Councilmember Payne, we welcome his presence. And so the chair will now recognize Councilmember Chugtai.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that all claims against the city of Minneapolis and any of its named or unnamed employees, including claims for attorney's fees and costs asserted in the matter of Amy Julia Bly versus Nicholas Anderson and Andrew Rudin, court file number 23-CV-95, be settled in the amount of $200,000. The city attorney's office is authorized to execute all documents necessary to effectuate the settlement.
Councilmember Chugtai has moved this item. Is there a second?
Second?
Are there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Payne.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shugtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries. And before we adjourn the meeting, I recognize that we had been joined by Councilmember Payne, and I will recognize Councilmember Payne to make a request to the body.
Thank you, Madam President. I first want to apologize. I had to miss the earlier part of the meeting because I had to address some family matters, but I'd like to make a motion to reconsider so that I can have my record recorded for the public record.
And
Madam President, I think the motion, to clarify, is a motion from Councilmember Payne to reconsider the votes on all matters taken from the committee reports today and to enter in his vote accordingly, the motion to reconsider needs to pass first, and then if the body passes that motion, we would ask Councilmember Payne to tell us his vote so that we can record those before we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
So we have a motion by Councilmember Payne to reconsider. It's been seconded by Councilmember Chavez, and we have comments or questions in queue. Councilmember Johnson, and then Council Vice President.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm sure that the clerk is already on top of this. I'm used to when a motion to reconsider occurs, we all have to vote again, but we're not going to have to do that on any of these items, right?
Through the President, Councilmember Johnson, you are correct. The proper procedure would be to take up a reconsider on every single vote we took in discussing this with the President for the convenience of the body. Unless there's any objection, we're going to consider this sort of an omnibus motion for reconsidering all of those votes. If there is no objection, that one vote will apply, sort of as a consent agenda process, right, to all of the vote. And then Councilmember Payne will give us his vote as it would have been made during the meeting, and we'll make sure to record that before we adjourn.
And just to be clear, so our votes won't change, or we won't have to vote on the package of other items.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Unless someone objects, and we want to go through that procedure. But otherwise, this is for the convenience of the body to take one vote to allow Councilmember Payne that privilege.
Council Vice President Palmisano.
Thank you, Madam President. I greatly appreciate Family Matters. And also to that end, you know that I'm a stickler for trying not to miss anything around here. I have been late to a meeting because I was in a closed session and not able to take votes one time in the past. And so we've never done this before. So I'm wondering if we are setting a precedent here and that we will always allow this for everybody. And again, I'm sympathetic to Councilmember Payne's situation, and I would just go ahead and vote yes on this, but I just want to understand what precedent we're setting here for the future.
Council President, I would say that the precedent is only set to the extent that the body agrees that this is a good process for us to follow, and that doing this on this one-time occasion for the reasons expressed doesn't establish a precedent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Councilmember Vita.
Thank you, Madam President. I guess I just wanted to know, kind of similar, is this legal? You can miss the meeting and then come later and vote?
Madam President, I will quickly jump in to say procedurally, not legally. This is not a question of the law. This is a question of the body's rules and procedures. And that procedurally, Councilmember Payne, as an equal member of the body, has the right. The meeting has not adjourned. This would be a different question if the meeting had adjourned. He's joined the meeting. He had a family emergency. He has the right to request a reconsideration of every vote, and we could go through that whole process. Or for the convenience of the body, we can make the reconsideration motion one time and allow him to express that vote. It's a matter of, do we want to do every single vote or one? But he has the right to request the body to consider that reconsideration.
Does that satisfy your question, Councilmember Vita? I do think there's a question of, will the votes change the outcomes on any of the items that we have already adopted?
Madam President, I don't want to speak for Councilmember Payne. He's yet to publicly declare his position on each of the votes we took, but very quickly we were able to consult before the body reconvened here publicly. I do not believe that his addition of vote on any item changes the outcome as it was already reported during the meeting.
Thank you. So now we have a motion by Councilmember Payne to reconsider, second by Councilmember Chavez. We've had discussion. I think for clarity, can we just one last time, what are we voting on in terms of reconsideration?
The motion to reconsider is a motion to open back up the agenda, as it were, all of the items that have already been disposed of by formal votes of the council. The purpose of the motion is restricted to allowing one member, Councilmember Payne, to put on record his vote on each of those items that have already been conducted. So it's a one-time motion to open up the agenda so that Councilmember Payne can be recorded as voting on those items. Again, I don't believe that it's going to change the outcome of any vote as it was declared and reported in the meeting, but gives him that ability to do so prior to adjourning this meeting.
So procedurally, then, do we go through each committee report and record the vote?
We don't need to do that if this motion passes. If this motion passes, then we will recognize Councilmember Payne. Councilmember Payne will tell us how he is voting on each of those issues, and we'll be done.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So we are now voting on the motion to reconsider. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Veto.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Osman.
Aye.
Councilmember Payne.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shabtai.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Vice President Palmisano.
Aye.
President Jenkins.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries, and we will now hear from Councilmember Payne as to his votes on the issues that have come before this body today.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you for your grace. I would like to be recognized as voting aye on all items except for the biz item number 2.
And aye on the override.
Correct.
Just so for the record, also on unfinished business number 1, an aye vote.
Yes, correct.
And again, Madam President, and for the body, the votes that he just expressed do not change the outcome of any of the items, including the 2 that were pulled out and specified.
Thank you.
Correct. No on biz 2.
With that, we have completed our business today, and with nothing further to come before the council and without objection, this meeting is adjourned.